20 Psycho-Sociopath Stories. According to Reddit, number 20. I have a lot of stories about my sociopathic former roommate. But one of the most uncomfortable moments that I had with him was when he stared me dead in the eyes and said, "How can I express more realistic emotions?" And then he became slightly annoyed when my answer was, "Have them in the first place?" Well, look, sometimes we all need to know how to seem more human to convince the other humans. There's nothing that wrong. This guy's being critical. I don't like him being hypercritical. Number 19. In high school, my boyfriend at the time and I shared a math class together. It was well known that we were dating, so I would always take him his homework via teacher's request if he missed or because he skipped class a lot. I broke up with him over Christmas break. He cheated on me, and the math teacher obviously still assumed we were together, so he asked me to bring him his work. I did. I got to his house, wanted to drop it off at his doorstep. He told me to come in and explain it to him. He locked his bedroom door and started saying shit like, "If I can't have you, then no one else can. I could get you back in a second. Just admit it," etc. And here's the true kicker. If I killed you or if you died, I would keep your body in my closet or hung behind my door just to have sex with it. What is this guy, some kind of Kiro the Wolf furry guy? What's going on here? Whoa. He then proceeded to try to make out with me and jam his hands down my pants. He actually thought it was endearing and had no idea why I was so upset. I got out, called my mom to pick me up, and ran back to school. It was terrifying. To this day, I'm still horrified about it and him. Last I heard, he was trying to be a magician. That sounds so amazing. Looks like Charles Manson and is in and out of psychiatric wards. It sucks how much people can get away with by just quote unquote being crazy. You know what it is? It's bullshit. Number 18. That's a bit heavier than I was expecting on this list. A list of 20 psycho-sociopath stories. Well, I guess we got what we bargained for here. Number 18. My sister, who I no longer have contact with, has psychopathic tendencies. My worst moment was about 5 years ago. She was showing me a new knife of hers, a giant blade with serrations down the back. I remember looking in her eyes and there was this cold, alien look to them. The hairs on the back of my neck rose and I had this idea that she was going to stab me. I realized my instincts were picking up on her thinking about stabbing me. She didn't stab me, but I kept thinking about it, and I truly think she was imagining what it would be like to stab me with her new knife. You know, like I said about the first entry, why everybody gotta be so critical of everybody, man? You know? It's a 50-50 life you guys are living. Sometimes things happen, sometimes things don't. Who here can say that we haven't thought about stabbing people in their neck? Stab them in the neck. But not doing that is what separates us, upstanding, capable, and God-fearing individuals, apparently, from your Lindsay Lohans, your Kiro the Wolves, your fuck bags that are rolling up and down the lane, getting away with it because they A, have money, or B, are sufficiently white enough, maybe even C, are quote-unquote crazy, man. My mental health, bro. My mental health. Number 17. He told me that I must be seriously mentally ill for being upset that he, while dating me, propositioned my married best friend. Ugh. Somebody says sounds like an ass. You damn right. You are damn right. The next entry appears to be deleted, and I didn't, ahead of time try to retrieve some of these bing-bonged entries. Enough to see what we can do. I think I recall 2 of them being deleted as I scrolled down this list, so bear with me as I take the time to quickly retrieve these entries. Here's hoping you're all having a fantastic evening. It's not just something I say, you know what I mean? I don't get paid. Well, yeah, I do get paid by my sexy sponsors and my patrons, but you know, it's not like I am forced to, I want to say, be curious about whether or not people are okay. Sometimes I know some people are just one. Damn, Vanessa. Lucky number, Vanessa. You know, 7's a very bizarre donation from Vanessa. I appreciate it, but I think that she was trying to 100% the goal. And not knowing what the goal was, all she could do was try to shoot as close for it as possible. But in fact, it is only 98.52% towards the goal. Now, 310 is a semi-round number. You would associate that with maybe what some psychopath named Kyle would make for his stream goal, but it in fact is not what it was. Who knows what the goal is, you know? Let's find out together on this tonight's Kyle list. Bing bong. So here's an entry that's been deleted by the user, and it is going to take the place of the entry that was missing from the list of 20 psycho-sociopath stories. The stream thanks Vanessa for her wonderful contribution. You know, I dated one, and now he's my brother-in-law. Ugh. Took me years to figure out that he's a psychopath, and now he's just kind of mean. Damn,
it didn't work, IDC.
Damn, girl. Man, Vanessa is perhaps the one to whom I look and think of most. She's keeping the lights on around here, guys. I love and appreciate you, Vanessa. How do I express my adoration? Vanessa says she don't care. And more importantly, she's obliterated what would have been whatever the stream goal was. So thank you, Vanessa. You have helped us reach. And I say help, but I mean, come on, man. You know you did it. It was you, though. Come on now. Whew. Love me some Vanessa. She makes it hot in.
Throws money at the goal.
Well, we may have already reached that goal, Prelude, but don't think that I don't appreciate that 511. Did he do the math? I wonder if my man did the math. He might have did the math.
Open up and see what your goal was.
See what my goal was. Look, we're already wasting enough time. Okay. Vanessa and Prelude are worth that time, though. They're special to me. I love you. You're wonderful. Now, again, I dated this one guy and now he's my brother-in-law. It took me years to figure out that he's a sociopath or a psychopath and not just a kind of mean example. I realize now, okay, sorry, it was not, punctuated. It took me years to figure out that he's a psychopath and not just kind of mean. Example, I realize now that he used to take me to extremely dangerous places, only time he could get turned on, and I'm probably very lucky nothing happened to me. Most uncomfortable moment would be when he told my husband that he carries a gun, loaded, no safety, with one in the chamber, solely because he hates me. What? Suffice to say, we don't talk anymore, and my child is not allowed near him. Well, that sounds awful. Some people are not motherfucking playing with how insane they are. And that's unfortunate, but what can we do? We're getting exactly what we're asking for on the list of psycho-sociopaths. Number 15. He had a gas-powered pellet gun, and when we were 13 years old, and it was one of my first times being high, he had me against the wall and gave me 5 minutes to choose between him shooting me in the genitals or in the head. If I didn't choose, he said that he was just gonna go nuts. Well, if he's gonna make the choice for him, this is a balls joke, guys. And I'm gonna continue. I just kind of fidgeted in place, saying, "You're gonna kill me." I was 13 and high, and at the end of the 5 minutes, he told me that he was just fucking with me. He also emptied a huge box of matches into the sink one time, When we all told him not to, he called them pussies and lit it all on fire. He was a major pyro. I'm pretty sure he's in jail now. I'm 19 and he's 20. I mean, it just sounds awful, my dudes. It just sounds awful. As we continue up the list, we arrive at number 14. Probably when I found out that he was dating 3 other girls at the same time. And the girls and I exchanged screenshots of conversation with him. How creepily similar that he spoke to us all. Charming, nice dude, unless you don't give him what he wants. Oh, sounds like a nice guy, my dudes. Somebody says, been there. Did he use the same pet name for all of you? For me, it was that there was always some barrier that kept us from being a proper couple. He'd wax lyrical about his bad luck and that he wasn't able to have the kind of relationship that he wanted with me. It was just a different barrier for each of us. None of us would have been difficult to overcome, or none of it would have been difficult to overcome if he actually wanted to. I think he just enjoyed stringing us all along. Sadly, when he and I fell out, he started yelling at all of our mutual friends. He said that I was paranoid and delusional and I was stalking him. By the time I'd figured out what he was up to, nobody wanted to hear a word that I had to say. It's so sad how the words of some manipulative assholes can really ruin some friendships. And it's easy for me to take the high road and say shit like, oh, well, if the person wasn't willing to listen to both sides of the story, that's not the type of friend that you want to have. But it also sucks knowing that a misunderstanding, or basically a non-truth, ruined something that otherwise might have been fine. It's truly terrible. Truly, truly terrible. Sasab B1 says it's 10:44 p.m. where you are. How are you an hour ahead of me? Because for me, it's 9:44. Most people are an hour behind me, living that gay-ass life. Hello, Dia. Hope you're having an interesting and wonderful night before work. All hail Queen Vanessa. As we continue with this list, we arrive at number 13. When he would tell a story that I was a part of, he would make up huge lies of what happened. Even sometimes switch his role and mine. I would just awkwardly nod my head and wonder if he truly remembered it that way. He doing the mental gymnastics. Somebody said I had a friend that did that with me. He'd outright pretend that my group of friends in elementary school was his group, and his friends back then were my group. The level of shameless lying blew my mind. Most of the time, I'd either ignore him or say, no, you're misremembering, and then just leave it at that. What the bing bong. Sasa B1 says, I am from Brazil. Stay off the streets, my man. I frequent this one subreddit called Watch People Die, and let me tell you something. If it's not Asia Town, then it's Brazil. Scary stuff happening in the streets. Number 12. I have a friend who's a pathological liar. He's also mostly Scottish in heritage, northern Scotland, where the Viking influence is. He's 6'8", 350 pounds when he's watching his weight, 400 plus when he isn't, and there's a lot of muscle to go with everything else. The lies aren't all that awful. Forgive me, I feel like I need to adjust the volume of the music. Obsidian Jacob says, Kyle, check your Warframe inbox. Oh yeah, my man. I intend to right after this. Thank you. I appreciate you. Badass. The lies aren't all that... Sorry, I felt like I was gonna hiccup or burp, and then I made a noise like a hentai waifu, so I apologize, alright? The lies aren't all that awful. Most of the time, he's known as a very entertaining storyteller, and everyone knows he'll embellish greatly from time to time. But he can't keep a girlfriend. Apparently, he can't be honest, is a pathological cheater, and the lies catch up with him in his relationships in a few weeks, tops. One day we were in a taxi together, and he got the idea that the driver was taking a route that was unnecessarily long. He stopped the cheerful story that he was telling me mid-sentence. His face changed and he barked at the cab driver in a voice that I'd never heard, loud, angry, and aggressive. The cab driver immediately pulled over and let us out without paying, and a good thing too. I think my friend was about to kill him. I was petrified in my seat. I felt like he might kill everyone in range. I was terrified. Pretty cool. It was the last time that I spent with him, though I'd known him for 20 years. I later learned that he won't associate with someone after they've seen him snap, as one of his ex-girlfriends put it. Interesting. I remember one time somebody heard me snap. It was during a match of Overwatch. And they were horrified. They were horrified. Oh my God, I didn't know you'd be like that. Pretty funny stuff. Number 11. He once tried to manipulate me to come into work, basically 50 hours, 10 of which would be off the clock, and I didn't get overtime. Right. He knew that if he could keep labor low on his shift, he could get a promotion. He would also expressly lie to my face about giving me a break, saying verbatim, "I'll come back here in a moment and take over so that you can get a break." Then he would just never come. Then when time was passed to where a break would be irrelevant, 30 minutes before my shift was over, he'd offer again. Why y'all put up with this shit, man? It's a shame. Because some people are in positions where they can't even backtalk, and that's pathetic. But like, y'all got some people over you who are just a piece of ass, just a bucket of ass. Queen Cassidy says, "I live when you do your I have a boyfriend voice." Oh, she love. I live to love. Thickness. Carrie. As we continue up the list, we're finally at the number that indicates the final 10 on this motherfucking list of 20 sociopath stories. That's a nice thumbnail, right? I like that thumbnail. Does it matter? Does anybody care? Queen Cassidy likes memes instead. I'll show her some memes. That's what she's all about. That's what gets them titties boincing. Boincing. That's my new word that I say, guys. Deal with it. Boints. If any of y'all watch Eric Andre, the fact that Lindsay Lohan is legitimately back in the news like trips me to hell up. All right, here's the meme. All right. Me. What happens if I forcibly bend this thing? Thing breaks me. I like that. Oh my God. I had no idea. Oh my God. I like this one too. It's like when freshman kids try roasting you, but then you notice he's wearing Skechers. Okay. Yeah. What is this Kyle meme variety hour? Y'all made me basic as hell. What is this, Facebook? I'm only showing y'all this. Here's why. So you can be part of that exclusive Kyle come. But y'all don't want to be part of my okay, look. Part of the exclusive Kyle club. Oh my God. That knows where this image came from, because you better believe I'm going to be using this in an upcoming thumbnail. I just, we got to wait for the opportunity to strike. So as we continue, Linda says it's a lovely thumbnail. I appreciate it. Thank you. It's because they wear masks. You get it. Number 10. I've been a long-time friend with a sociopath. He is honestly like my brother. We have developed the relationship that basically treats me like his moral compass, but it doesn't always work out. He is still very manipulative and cruel at times, and he does only truly care about himself, but he tries to be a good person because he doesn't want to be an asshole. This being said, my most uncomfortable moment with him would have to be when he was telling me about watching some guy almost die. He was telling me how he knew that he should have stopped watching and helped him, but he was too interested in what the outcome would be if he didn't. It was creepy to know that as hard as he may try to be a decent person, sometimes he still can't help himself. this man know I want a Lanka blueprint? Why he on that flibble florpsh? Why is he on that flibble florpsh? You know I want my Lanka blueprint. Anyway, as we roll up to number 9, it reads, I dated someone who I now believe is a sociopath. The most uncomfortable thing while we were dating was that he would constantly whisper things in my ear in earshot of other people. Do you think I look hot right now? Or do you think I'm cool? That sounds pretty insecure. Unless it's like a joke
like
that's for the same of like, if it's a joke for the sake of like making himself look like an idiot in front of other people, then it's really funny. That's something that I would do, like just to say, ask some like really self-depreciating insecure shit. Do you think that guy thinks I look fat? But like really loud, so the dude would like be looking over.
Yes, he
And
does.
and then I'd say shit like, did you see him look at me just now? I'm sorry. Okay, the first few times I thought he was joking. So I laughed. And then he'd get angry. He wanted a serious answer. He wanted me to tell him how much I wanted to jump his bones right there in front of all of our friends whilst they were watching and listening. I'd get lectured and afterwards like, you know, you really insulted me personally when you laughed at me in front of everyone. He could also cry on cue to get what he wanted. This sounds like a completely different dude, man. And as soon as he got what he wanted, it would instantly switch off and he'd turn very serious and tell me what a horrible person I was. The instant emotional switches are disarming. When he broke up with me, I went from being his favorite person in the world to instantly at the very bottom of his shit list. He laughed and cried on multiple occasions, calling me ridiculous. What's very alarming about people like him is how many people they can get on their side with their charm. Yes, we've seen it in serial killers already. Why y'all hoes still fucking surprised by men that possess the capacity for charm? You know what I mean? It's because y'all are so used to a pretty face that when somebody actually hits you with something that's a little bit more subliminal, a little less on the surface than that, you guys are totally and woefully unprepared. You are not prepared. You females are like fucking malleable, little vulnerable. I would just like, you thought you were metal, you know what I mean? You thought you were like a steel girder, and this guy just comes and it goes full Magneto on that ass. What I'm talking about. And they're all new people. All the people who caught on when we were dating are gone from his life. He was convinced his new friends that I'm a psychopath because I tried to tell others what happened. So whenever I say anything about what a creep he is, I get brigaded by the new people who are all being manipulated. Also, he is completely dead in the face and eyes until you interact with him. And then it's like he becomes animated. I am Mark Zuckerberg. I have completed the Facebook protocol. All use my program and all will willingly give me information as it pertains to their lives. Shutdown mode engaged. That's a really good noise. That's a really good noise. Okay. Wait. Is Zai saying that I can find something in the second floor energy lab? I'm going to look for it right now. If y'all think I'm joking, listen for the beep of the PlayStation 4 turning on right now. Okay. Do you think this is a game? Also, I can never find my remote, so maybe I downloaded a remote app on my phone so that I can just turn the TV on and sort that out. Hey, look, you're sitting there doing nothing but making noise. Thank you. Love you. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Not really.
I was also touching your hand.
Trying to touch my hand. All right. Jeez.
I was successful.
You got the controller. I'm passing the controller to Hannah, and all I got to do is make sure Hannah doesn't try to trade herself the Lanka blueprint from me, and then we'll be good. That would be some cold-blooded Pokemon bullshit. You know what I'm talking about? Now this Mew will be mine. Number 8 is deleted. That sucks. So as we roll to the deleted entry on the list of 20 psycho sociopath stories, we arrive at... Give me a second. I'm like scrolling up this mother. Okay. We arrive at this entry. Well, we were never friends, but we had a huge crush on me. He had a huge crush on me and would always tell me how much he was in love with me. He would come up behind me and whisper things to me. And one time he said, I'm going to rape you and then cut you into little pieces. Bye, monetization, bye. It was more than uncomfortable. And he would always degrade me and then tell me that he's in love with me. He's a straight psychopath, dead in the eyes, fucking dead. You know, this is a recurring comment that we're seeing a lot of the times. People are dead in the eyes. I like to think that people think that Saitama from One Punch Man is dead in the eyes. But doesn't he have a wonderful soul? Or something? I wouldn't know. I don't watch that anime. Maybe I should pretend to be some kind of cool guy that doesn't watch any anime. Just kidding. You know. As a matter of fact, I still think that my motherfucking I had like a, what's the word? A playlist. Hey guys, check it out. Some dude is chiseling. He's, oh no, where did it go? Did I see? Because when I made okay, here it is. The guy is chiseling a pillow out of stone. How interesting is that? It's a great way to kill somebody if you just throw the pillow on your bed, you know, and then they come in and they launch themselves onto the bed and they just make their head flop down on the pillow like, and then they die. You know, you didn't make them do that. They assumed that your decorative marble stone pillow on your bed was a real pillow. Officer, it wasn't my fault. Now I gotta go clean my pillow. You think blood comes out of this easy? This was an art installation in my house, and this guy had no appreciation for true art.
Sorry, how do I get in the dojo?
Look, confine it to the stream chat, please. I'm kidding. I don't know. It says you need to build a clan key. You'll find it in your foundry. Again, if it's too confusing, I'll do it when I'm done, bars. Number 7. We were cleaning our guns. This guy pointed the gun at me and asked me if I trusted him. Jesus, man. Do you think the gun is loaded? He asked me. I could be negligent or evil, and I could have left a bullet in there. He pulled the trigger, laughed, and carried on cleaning the gun like nothing happened. He thought it was funny. Sorry, I thought that noise was like rain outside, but it's just the PS4. About to take off to the moon. Number 6 on the list of psycho-sociopath stories. I was making some brownies. My sister was visiting for some reason. Maybe it was Christmas. I love this girl. Maybe it was Christmas. Anyway, I like my brownies gooey and hot. Sounds like a bomb-ass, like, fucking nursery rhyme about to pop off. Somebody should write me a nursery rhyme, and I'll read those. Anyway, I like my brownies gooey and hot. So I'm cutting them into a little earlier than I should. Sister flips the fuck out and starts beating on me, grabbing heavier and more dangerous weapons from whatever that she can reach. Pans, rolling pins, etc. Becomes a scuffle where she keeps screaming, "Stop hitting me," while all I'm doing is grabbing her wrists to avoid taking blows to the head. Maybe it's not one of the most uncomfortable things that she's made or the most evil thing that she's done. But when people ask, why is your sister so crazy? That's the memory that creeps into my head. Her gigantic freak out over brownies that I was making. I'm thinking about doing a confession podcast soon that basically just asks the question, what made you guys realize that somebody in your life was not who you build them up to be, you know? Sometimes you like convince yourself that people are okay. Maybe they're just rough around the edges. Like, oh, maybe your parents are just, you know, a little crazy because they're old and they're terrible and they don't fit into the world as it exists anymore. My God, you ever seen a comment that long? God damn. But she's responding to Beck Sarek. I don't know what she said earlier. Bex Eric, they're talking to Queen Cassidy. They're talking to each other. Damn, mine used to beat me when I got brave enough to boot him. He tried to take our son. It backfired as he can't hide who he really is now. Our son hasn't seen him in almost 2 years. Jesus Christ. Y'all live some pretty intense lives. My heart and energy goes to you. Give me a second. Oh, I love you guys. I appreciate you. Let's continue up this list. Number 5. When he told my girlfriend, who was sitting beside me at the time, that if she did something horrible to me, and we broke up, that he would murder me for her. What? Okay. What's wrong with people? Man. Number 4. I dated once. Didn't realize it until much later when the abuse was so thick that I couldn't breathe. The one situation that sticks out the most was one night, completely unsolicited. He looked at me solemnly and said, "If you ever left me, I would find you and I'd kill you." 11 years of shit like that. Suffice to say, I'm glad that I've got an entire country between myself and him. Now, these are just sad, dude. These are just sad. Number 3. This kid in my 8th grade class, he showed us a video of him lighting a cat on fire whilst it was alive. He thought it was funny. We reported the video to school and he was apprehended the next day. I believe you can find a news story online about it. It happened in Maryland a few years ago. God damn, man. Somebody said, when I was in elementary school, my dad bragged to me of lighting cats' tails on fire. Ooh, okay. He laughed it off as boys will be boys. You know? How do you judge people for shit like that back then when they didn't have the internet to like make them calm the fuck down and just beat off their frustration and boredom? Just beat it, beat it, beat it, beat it. Don't be lighting tails on fire. I know that you are Kiro the wolf. Please keep your peanut of things that dead wolf. Don't do it. Don't do it, do it. Don't do it. Jesus. And for some of you who don't know who Kiro the wolf is, he's this dude that was caught fucking dogs and dead animals and all kind of disgusting crap like that. And hopefully that police investigation results in him, you know, going away. You know, that's disgusting. And if at the very least, it's not, you know, illegal enough to put his ass away, what he was doing to those poor animals. Hopefully the evidence that he got, like, because I've seen a lot of these disgusting ass pictures, dude. Hopefully all of that crap is enough to fuck him, because that shit is gross. Ugh. Dia says not to be rude or to throw shade at anybody, but this sounds like young Logan Paul. I wonder who she's talking about. The guy in the story, or... Oh yeah, well, she's probably right. The guy in the story. That sounds like some shit that a young big ass Paul would do. I'm really sorry for your guys' past as it pertains to some of these exes that you guys have had, but hopefully you've reached a point now, as far as your development is concerned, that that makes it so that you can spot and recognize abuse immediately, so that it won't happen again. Because this is pathetic, and I want you guys to know something real, and you're not going to want to hear it, but it's the truth. Many women and men who are in abusive relationships, they have to make the choice to stay in it. Yes, there's like influencers, like fear, you know, what could happen to me? This guy could hurt me. This guy could kill me. This guy could hurt my family and shit like this. But my God, y'all got to make the choice to get the fuck away, because it's horrifying, the shit that's going down. Horror, horror, horror. And one of you said that you had a kid, so I'm just glad that it's a safer situation now than it was before. Sounds terrible. Number 2. My ex would say headlines, which meant that I would be headlines in tomorrow's newspaper because he was going to kill me. Okay. It's not creepy or anything. What is this list? What is this list? Number 1. My sister is a sociopath. It took me a lot of years to realize this and stop rationalizing it. That's exactly what I was saying earlier, is that we do a lot of rationalization. And I need to have a confession podcast where you realize, where people just go, what was the big thing that made you realize it? You know, you couldn't keep defending them anymore. I'm a diabetic and I have been in comas. During the last one in 2015, after a year of no contact, she showed up at the hospital saying that I had expressed to her that my wishes were do not resuscitate. About 12 of my friends shouted her down and I woke up 3 days later on my own. If I had coded during that time, however, there would have been a lot of gray area around if they were allowed to revive me. About 4 months later, she took out a life insurance policy on me and asked me to sign it. I said no, lol. I no longer speak to her. What the fuck? What the fuck? This is some next level bing bong. Here's a cute little, oh man, it's gone. Keep losing my shit. Here's a cow rolling ball. That's cute. It'll take the stupid, wash the taste of this list out of your mouth. Cow's like a big little doggy. Look at that good boy. Even though it's, come on, good. That's a good cow. Yeah, so cute. Oh, all right. Yeah, I was gonna read this list called "What's the most unfair thing you've ever seen?" What's the runtime of this list looking like? 40 minutes. Oh boy. Let me see here. Man, why is 13 Gilded? That makes me feel like I want to read it. I will read 15 entries on this list. Because, thank Vanessa, you're all wonderful. But I feel like wrong leaving you before the hour mark. So let's do this very quickly. Number 15. On the list of what's the most unfair thing that you've ever seen. Can I get like another song in here? Let me see very quickly. Bap. There we go. Number 15. My friend and I wrote the exact same thing on a test. He got it marked right, and mine was marked wrong. Life is unfair. That's from a show that you may not have seen called King of the Hill. That's right, You're not the boss of me now, and I work in a hospital and I wear scrubs. And that's the name of the show. It's called Scrubs. And then the piano goes doodle-doo, because they all work in an office. Michael Scott. Number 15. My friend and I wrote the exact same thing on a test. He got worked over. That's what happened. Number 14. Oh man, this is long. Goddamn. Bing my bong. Oh, bing my bong so hard. When I was about 10 years old, I was walking a few blocks to the corner store, carrying a 2-liter of malt liquor. I'm kidding. He was carrying a liter Coke bottle so that I could cash in the bottle and get some food. Oh no. There was an apartment complex right next to the store, and as I was walking past, I heard a child screaming for help in Afrikaans. My immediate thought was domestic violence between the mom and the dad type of thing, and I was scared to go see what I could help with this 5 to 6-year-old boy crying excuse me, damn it. This 5 to 6-year-old boy when this 5 to 6 year old boy was crying profusely and screaming for help, rushed out of the complex. I wanted to run, but I couldn't. I had to go see if I could help this kid. So I go up to him, he grabs my hand, starts pulling me into the complex, obviously dragging me to his apartment. I follow him, we go inside the apartment, and I'm scared as hell. I don't know what to expect, but I expect that it's bad. He drags me into the bathroom, and I see his mom leaning over the bath in a house coat. I think she was washing clothes in the bath, and she must have slipped, and she was laying with the upper torso in the bath so that her face was submerged and she wasn't moving. I tried to grab her and pull her out of the water, but she was really heavy. I eventually got her head out of the water, but I was young and didn't know any first aid. So I ran down the stairs to the corner store and asked the man to use the phone to call an ambulance. He initially said no, but after explaining that I think a woman had drowned, he relented and used the phone book to look up emergency number and called an ambulance. I did not go back. I was too scared. I do not know what happened to this kid or his mom. It is the most unfair event that I have ever witnessed, and I am shaking just thinking about it. Damn. 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 Number 13. My freshman year of college, I got to be extremely close with a girl who was a senior. We did everything together. Pussy stuff, butt stuff, ear stuff. I'm kidding, none of that's written. At the time, I was heavily religious, and so was she. Ear stuff for real. We went to the same cultish church and spent almost all of our waking hours together. She was my best friend and my duet partner when we led worship at our university's Christian group, Jesus. She was stubborn and beautiful, and she loved so deeply and truly. Just an all-around wonderful, intelligent girl, and then she died. The summer after she graduated, I went through some serious personal crap. And I ended up walking away from the church and religion because of this. We grew apart. I still saw her and we were still friends, but the lack of proximity coupled with the loss of what had first bonded us strained us greatly. About a year went by and I was seeing her less and less. I missed her and our friendship, and I reached out. She came over to my dorm and we spent some time together. We made plans to go to see Les Mis in theaters the next week. We never got to go. She'd been having back pains that the doctor couldn't figure out, and the next week she started having seizures and throwing up too. Because of the issue, she moved back in with her parents. She ended up diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. I was never able to afford the trip to be with her when she was sick. I still feel so guilty for not just figuring it out. October will be 4 years since she passed away, and I miss her so much. I'm big on remembering people accurately and not pretending they were perfect just because they're gone. She wasn't perfect by any means, but she was closer than anyone else I've ever known. It was so unfair that someone like her, not only to die so young, but to suffer as horribly as she did. It wasn't fair that I wasn't there for her when she needed me the most. The world is truly dimmer without her light. Damn. Remember that time Kyle was like, man, this list was kind of sad. We need to get a little more light in here. But then the darkness. I'm sorry. I guess I just opened it because my heart, you know, this is what I'm talking about. Number 12. A man I knew was fighting in court for 2 years for the murder case of his ex-girlfriend. The description of the killer looked nothing like him. There was a video that they could not pull for court. The girlfriend's daughter said it wasn't him. His lawyer in court was a public defender who said in court to the judge he wouldn't want them as his lawyer because he was black. Oh my God. The court would not change his public defender even after this. The courts kept pushing back his dates months at a time. That's the system of law for you. That's law for you. Oh boy. Look, man, I didn't think these would be that crazy. Come on now. I don't even know if I should continue with these. Let's go look at what's on Ask Reddit right now. I mean, should I just continue? Integrity dictates I just continue, Mom, right here. Look, number 11. Okay. When we were about 12 and 10 years old, my brother was very irresponsible with his things. He had this new bike stolen from him, leaving it out on the front lawn of the house, unlocked. He was too lazy to bring it into the garage, and, what happens, happens. Fine. It was his fault, his loss. So he starts borrowing my bike all the time and does the exact same thing, and it gets stolen within a matter of weeks. My parents refused to get me a new bike or give him any shit over losing mine, and I never got another bike until I was an adult who could afford to buy myself one. Also, since his birthday was in the summer, he got a brand new bike, brand new everything, and mine is 2 weeks after Christmas. You can guess I got the used bike, used everything. Poor girl. I'm sorry. And you know in some families, the boy gonna really get that favoritism. Holy shit. This poor girl. Get the go ahead to just be a dick. Maybe he'll die first, Then we'll see who's laughing. Now who's laughing? Now who's laughing? Kill you first. Kill you first. Oh, that's enough. Sorry. Number 10. My parents are divorcing. Unbeknownst to my mom, my dad racked up over $400,000 in debt. Plus, he took $100,000 in equity on the house. Now, my mom must accept half of that debt, as well as give up half of her 401k. She worked hard for 30 years and will be left penniless. It is injustice to the highest degree. Well, bitch, maybe I should have signed a prenuptial agreement. Maybe you're all being stupid and paying that price. How about that? Maybe you're all paying the price for your stupidity, man. It's that kind of short-sighted bullshit that gets you exactly what you want. What, she should have been entitled to what the dude got, but not the other way around? I think that's kind of weird. She worked so hard. She should have just been able to get what he had. Jeez. This guy sounds pretty woke right in this story. Where my downvote at? What the fuck? Only when it benefits the woman. Torture Your Soul says, we had a friend who made the Hard Rock Cafe shirts with the insane recipes on the back like raccoon soup. He had a doctor get a complete bill of health 2 weeks later and got 9 brain tumors. 9. And then he died. Dude never smoked or drank. What?
Never smoked, drank.
What do you mean he never smoked, drank? Did you just say smoke dranked? Bruh. That's a new thing, man. Smoke dranked.
You're welcome.
Y'all ever smoke dranked? I'll do solid. I'm gonna be on the stand testifying. Did you clown on that fizzle whizzle, Kyle? And I'll be like, I smoke dranked, but I didn't clown on a fizzle whizzle. No, I did not. No, I did not, Your Honor. We already know you did it. We just here to have you say you did it. Now say it. Say you did it. I did not do it. Yes, you did. Say it. That's what court's like. Your Honor. This is out of order. Okay. I'm going to hold you in contempt, bows. Number 9. When I was a teen in Spanish class, I did a project with some other students, and we made an instructional video all in Spanish. Bienvenido a la... This video, bitch. This is Spanish. Listen to how I sound. I'm kidding. The other students already spoke Spanish fluently, and I didn't. We all were in the video, but I ended up planning, writing, editing, and filming the thing as well. I got a B on the project because my accent and pronunciation wasn't as good as the others who got A's. The teacher knew I did most of the work. That dirty bitch. She knew exactly what she was doing. Oh, stupid white boy get ahead in all of the other departments. You won't get ahead in my class, you stupid crack. You fucking gringo. Oh, you don't like this B, do you? What you going to do? Take it to your rich father? Okay, that's enough. Shut up, okay? Oh my God.
I think I got the only A in a group project
Why?
Or twice in English classes, because I did, well, once I completely revamped everything and made it an actual presentation, and the other time it was because I was the only one who actually put much effort into it and made the presentation and did the presentation. The others were like, well, I sent you like 3 lines of stuff.
Those are words. Okay. I really didn't intend for us to find so sad a follow-up list. You know, I wanted this to be cute, but it doesn't appear that it is. Number 8. A guy died because he couldn't raise enough money for insulin on a GoFundMe, but people were donating to make Kylie Jenner a billionaire. I'm not touching that one. Number 7. A girl who lived down the street from me growing up died in a car crash. She was really young, hadn't even finished college yet. 2 or 3 years later, her younger sister died on the exact same day. The only one left is the middle child, their brother, and I can tell it has absolutely crushed their family. And I just remember going to the funeral and thinking, why? Why did they have to live through this not once but twice? That much heartache has to be unbelievable, and it's incredibly unfair. The brother was always a little prick growing up, but man, I wish I could pull him aside now and tell him just how sorry I am that he has to live without his sisters, and that if he needs anything, not to hesitate to ask. But I really never knew him well enough, and he'd probably think that was weird, but I think of him and his family often. People gonna lose people. You're gonna lose people. And then one day people might lose you. Okay. Number 6. I was in my buddy's car when he got pulled over for speeding. When I saw the cop as we drove past him, I instinctively tugged on my seatbelt to confirm it was on. When the cop wrote my buddy his ticket, he gave me one for not wearing my seatbelt. He apparently thought my tug on the belt was me putting it on. I explained everything and he didn't believe me, and I went to court over it, and the judge compromised by cutting the fine in half. I didn't do anything wrong and still had to pay a fine. Yeah. It's kind of like the Breakfast Club too, where if you say anything, they're going to just throw you in jail. This sucks. Oh yeah, buddy? 10 days in jail. What the fuck? 20 days in jail. This is some more, but 30 days in jail. Oh yeah? You wanna go for more? I guess. Whatever. Number 5. Coworkers was written up by HR for being part of an email thread. Okay. Well, did he say something, or was he just like, okay, wait, said thread was not inappropriate, but made light of some bad behavior within the company. Even though the coworker in the email had never responded to the email. It is exactly what we think, dudes. This person was just on the list of motherfuckers. Can you imagine? Can you imagine Kyle at work talking about, damn, my cock fat today? Hold on, let me get this camera out. And I just got the phone. I'm just like, check it out, dudes. And I send the message to about 5 people. Imagine all of them getting in trouble for being recipients to the fucking, what is this? What is this, high school? You know what I mean? Y'all guilty by association. 0 tolerance. You looking. I didn't even open the email. I don't even know what's in it. Yeah, right. You know it's a dick. You love that dick. You been waiting for that dick. Y'all are in trouble. Y'all are going to hell. This is a Christian server. This job is a Christian server. Number 4. When I was younger, my brother and I both wanted to play different video games on our N64. I love it already because you know that there's like heavy entries on this list, and then there's bullshit entries on the list. Like, we went out and we both got ice cream, but his scoop fell off, and then he took it from mine, and mom was like, just share with your brother, but that's not fair. Sorry. Number 4. When I was younger, my brother and I wanted to play different video games on the N64. That's not the game I want to play. That's some whole bullshit. My dad, we go from cancer to, okay. My dad had us each make paper airplanes, and whichever one flew the furthest was going to be a game we played. Great parenting, Dad, you know. Hey, I don't know, man. Make some paper airplanes. Shit, you know what I mean? And then he plays Paper Airplanes. Is that the name of the song by MIA?
Yeah.
It's called Paper Airplanes?
No, I don't think
I think it's just called Paper. MIA, Paper. It's called Paper Planes. So could you imagine? He's just like, all right, y'all ready? All right, fly them planes down the stairs. Yeah, he's gonna beat you. Who's gonna play the N64 game? Okay, that's enough. God, stupid. Oh boy, my airplane ended up flying farther, but then my brother started to cry. So my dad just took both the games and snapped them in half. Upvote. Twist ending, my dudes. That's Kyle parenting right there. I only made you make the fucking plays to shut up. How about this? You crack an N64 game on you. How do you even do that? N64 games are really like small. So like, okay, I guess I've never tried because that's my precious N64 game. So I would never have tried. But I like to think it's not long enough for you to really just take it to the knee. You know what I mean? But I guess if they're not strong, you could just snap them up. That is not how I thought that story was going to end, dude. He just snapped a bitch in half. See, this is a fun entry, guys, you know? And it wouldn't have been this fun if the other entries weren't so terrible. So let that be a look at life as a whole, you know? Yeah, some terrible things happen to us, you know? But then when the good times come around, maybe they're even better by contrast because of the terrible shit going on. Snapchat Kyle. Your ideas for really bad videos, because I'm gonna start shit posting on my YouTube channel, man. I'm not joking. I'm gonna start doing like animations. It's gonna be what everybody loves, except love is the wrong word. Okay, borderline Vine material. Remember that site? Buh. Number 3. I was adopting my dog from an animal control, and I was seeing this guy that came in asking about a couple cats that he dropped off the day before. He had changed his mind and was going to keep them, but the shelter has a policy that they don't put down animals that have been surrendered until at least 3 days. I guess it gets really overcrowded or something. I'm not sure. The point is he had 48 hours until this could happen to his cats. Anyway, he was explaining this to the front desk lady, and she's looking up the records on him. She tells him that both cats were already put down. Oh my God, the look on his face still hurts me to this day. It was this look of hurt, guilt, anger, and sadness. Simply gut-wrenching. And what makes you decide that you want to bring your cats to a shelter and then flip-flop the next day and be like, nah, I want them back?
He may have found them, then decided, I do have space for a cat.
What does that mean, Hannah?
I mean, like, you find a stray. Like, if you live out in the country, people drop animals off all the time. So they might have just brought them to a place thinking, I can't take care of an animal. Then you feel bad and you go back and get it.
Well, feel bad, yes. You just made it seem like you were just like, oh my God, stray cats, I can't take care of these. And then when he goes home and he opens his closet and he goes, wait a minute.
I do have space.
This whole room that I never go into, this can be the cat room. Or better yet, maybe they're a couple and they go to themselves. They go home and they have an argument and go, you know what, Sheila? You know what, Mark? I am ready to have a child, but we should play babies with animals first.
We should get a puppy.
A practice run.
Let's get a puppy.
Fucking hell.
The puppy sucks.
Number 2. I hung out with a bunch of poor misfits in high school. We all wore hand-me-down clothes and qualified for free lunch at school, shit like this. Lots of single-parent families and government assistance. This one girl in my group complained more than anyone else about how her family was poor. She was probably treating it like some kind of poor Olympics. She was a poor family competitor, and she was gonna win. She often didn't have a lunch, so the other kids would all chip in and either give her money or share their own lunches with her. 2 of the other kids that we hung out with were twin brothers. We called them Fred and George Weasley. Sorry, their mom was raising them, plus their older brother, all of her, oh, I miss Harry Potter, man. I should read that. from the beginning.
I watched a bunch of them with Grandma.
Interesting. She ain't gonna remember none of that.
I know. I'm gonna have to watch them dozens of times. It's going to kill me.
Look. Their mom was raising them plus the older brother all on her own because their dad was incarcerated. He finally got out when we were teens and pretty much immediately ran off and refused to pay child support. That sucks. Because of the circumstances, the boys started working to support their families really young. They were doing odd jobs for the folks and getting real jobs as soon as they could. Two of them just felt so sorry for this girl that they decided to surprise her for Christmas one year. They saved up and they bought her a brand new game system that she'd been complaining about wanting. Okay. Meanwhile, she gave a few of us used games and books, obviously previously played and read by her, wrapped in tinfoil instead of gift wrap, and we all shrugged that off because, of course, she was poor. A couple of weeks after Christmas, the girl's parents decided to let her throw her first small party for friends at their house. Her dad picked us all up in their brand new minivan and then drove us to their brand new house. After we arrived, we got introduced to their new puppy and then given the home tour, which included 5 bedrooms and a pool. Also notable was this girl's bedroom, where her new game system sat alongside 2 other recent systems. I found out that her dad was an attorney and her mother was a medical assistant. Her parents' combined income was 3 to 4 times what my family made in a year, much less our friends who had worked their asses off to buy her that fucking game system. Her idea of being poor was based on her parents not buying her everything that she wanted immediately. The reason she never had lunch money, she saved what her folks gave her to buy herself things instead, while mooching off of kids who were on free lunch.
Disgusting.
I'll never forget the look on my friends' faces, the look on their faces as they slowly realized that the person they'd worked to support out of sympathy was just a spoiled brat. Brats. Nobody's gonna remember that. We should look up a Bratz commercial right now. I don't give a fuck. This was up.
I had a brat named Cameron because that was my brother's name.
Brats. Okay, hold up.
You got a person.
Yeah. Welcome to hell.
Accessories each sold separate.
I just want him to say it. Brats. There it is. This shit is real. Brats. It's so 90s. In your face. It's like, wow, I wasn't going to get this doll, but they just kept saying, Brats. In my head, in my ears. Oh my God. I got to buy it. Chipokoma. All right. We only have one more entry left on the secondary thank Vanessa list of what's the most unfair thing that you've seen, Bing My Bong. Me and my sister both had braces and had to wear those rubber bands that fix your jaw or whatever. I wore my bands every single night while my sister rarely wore them. When we had our dentist appointment, the dentist took a look at my teeth and then gave me a disappointed, "You haven't been wearing your bands, have you?" I tried to tell her I always wore them, but she obviously didn't believe me. Then my sister got in the chair and our dentist said, "Wow, you've been wearing your bands?" That was like 10 years ago. My teeth are still worse than my sister's. Ooh. She got the short end of that genetic stick. Sucks to hear. Another Red Dead Redemption video coming. Oh my God. Oh God. Guys, I love you to death. Fade gone wild. Let's see some of this. Give me the big picture here. Give me the big picture here. Stop showing me close-ups of man face. Oh my God. Big picture, my dudes. God, this dude look gay. He looking gay than the motherfucker. Hey guys, it's me, Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson's stepson. You already know. Okay. Oh my god, you guys. Hope you're all having a wonderful evening. And then it just gets better and better and better and better. I love ya. You know, we need to try to stay out of trouble on the internet, man, because there's some really good stuff out there, some juicy stuff. But we can't dip too deep, you know. That's how they get you. And you know that the government's watching us way too hard these days, man. In the early days of the internet, I like to imagine like a bunch of people running around in a room, freaking out. What are we gonna do? Oh, they're all over the place. Oh, jeez. But now they got it all figured out. A guy fails roof jump horribly, then walks off like nothing. Oh my god. Well, time to go. That is truly horrible. Why y'all all up on this roof trying to jump across it? Peer pressure gone mad. Jesus. You know? It's because y'all too Indian for your own good, you know what I mean? See, if it was a black man. This tree made me what the fuck? What is it? Ew! Ew. Ew. Everything here is not safe for work. We can't do that. Guys, love ya. I'll see you soon. I want to thank Prelude. I want to thank Vanessa. I want to thank my sponsors. I want to thank my patrons. And I want you guys to drop some hardcore requests, man, because I want y'all to hit me with stuff that I can do for you in the near future. I know Linda wants gameplay, and I promise that tomorrow I'm going to give that to you in a big way during the day. So if you're following on Twitch, just look out and you'll see that coming. And to my patrons and sponsors, guys, hit me with a request so I can link you up with that. Vanessa, I'm nearly done with you know what, so you'll see where that goes. I love you guys to death. Don't stop believing. Hang on to that feeling. Be amazing. Bye. Love you. Linda says she's off work tomorrow. I hope you get the rest that you deserve. And I hope that everybody has a nice, easy evening. Take it easy. Feel good. Don't stress. I love you. You are loved. Live that life. Bye.